Thanks for joining us today at Unstuck Your Business Podcast.
You went into business with excitement and passion to show the world what you can do to contribute into our society and into our economic ecosystem.
But a couple of years into the business and your drive and motivation has dwindled, and now you feel stuck.
When you find yourself at this crossroads of thoughts and emotions, how do you deal with it?
We are your hosts, Inez Nazario Vega from Business Essentials Virtual Assistant
and Edith Duran from Reason Marketing. Welcome to today's episode, Mastermind Magic, the Power of a Tribe, where we're diving into the world of mastermind groups, a powerful tool for personal and professional growth. Mastermind groups bring together like-minded individuals to share ideas, tackle challenges, and support each other's goals.
And whether you're looking to expand your business, overcome obstacles, or simply connect with others on a similar journey, mastermind groups can provide you the collaboration and accountability you need. So in this episode, we'll explore what a mastermind groups are, how they work, and why they can be a game changer for your success. Let's get started.
Inez, I have to say, I love this idea of a mastermind group. Have you ever been a part of a mastermind group before?
I have actually been part of two mastermind groups. One was when I was in Ohio working for Xerox Corporation, actually at the time. And I was part of a Toastmasters International, which is a very well-known organization that helps people with leadership skills and public speaking. And out of the combination of people in Xerox and Toastmaster, we did form a mastermind group. And it was amazing how much we get out of being surrounded by the people with like-minded people, first of all, and people that are clear on achieving something different and going and taking either their life or their career or their business to the next level. At that time, I had a career. I didn't have a business. I was in management for Xerox, and it really propelled my career at that point after being part of a mastermind group. How about you? Have you been in a mastermind group, Edith?
I have. I've been a part of a business mastermind group. And in college, I was also part of I was a business student. So I was part of a mastermind group in college. That was probably my first experience with mastermind groups. And honestly, when I was going into it, I just thought of it as, oh my gosh, this is something else I have to add to my schedule, something else I have to do. I really didn't I really didn't know the background of how it works at the time. But then being a part of it, the first one in college, it just opened up so many, not exactly opportunities, but it just really opened up my mind because I am naturally a person that wants to just stay on my own schedule, just self-taught. And it's just
Would you consider yourself a loner entrepreneur or a loner person as far as it comes to that?
Right. I fall into that so easily, like as a student. And I just want to go at my own pace because I know myself and I know what works for me. So this mastermind group, learning from so many other people, it just, again, it broadened my horizons in so many different ways, not just business. But how would you describe a mastermind group?
Well, before we continue, I just want to give a heads up to our audience here as to why we're talking about mastermind groups in this episode and in this podcast. Edith and I are going to introduce a mastermind group program in 2025. And we wanted to give our audience the benefit of knowledge and understanding of what a mastermind group is so they can later on make a decision whether they would like to be part of this mastermind group that will be launching in 2025. So I just wanted to just throw that out there. for our audience. But to your question, what is a mastermind group? I just went into Napoleon Hill Think and Grow Rich book because he was the one who really started this whole mastermind group movement, so to speak. And in his book and in his this video that I watched from Napoleon Hill, it says a mastermind consists of two or more people that work in perfect harmony for the attainment of a definite purpose. So I think that was like very quick and to the point. It doesn't have to be a big group. Actually, most people that have done mastermind groups prefer that they're smaller groups,
Mhm.
no more than perhaps uh, 5, 10 people. And while I was reading this book as well and listening to a video from Napoleon Hill, um, he expressed that when was the mastermind principle first applied, and in his words, he says the first mastermind principle was applied in the times where well-informed Bible theologians, is that, am I saying that word correctly? My Puerto Rican accent is getting on the way. Theologians,
Theologian.
and they express that it existed between Jesus and his 12 disciples. Isn't that interesting?
Yep.
That Jesus and his 12 disciples were operating under a mastermind principle. Because think about this, he had the treasure person, he had the writer, the educator, he had all types of different people that brought different knowledge, experience, and expertise into this group of 12. And we can talk all day long about his influence throughout the world and throughout centuries. So that's, where in his book, Napoleon Hill says that it's the first time it was applied, it was with Jesus and his 12 disciples. But another very well known success story about applying a mastermind group in business was Henry Ford. And we all know the success of Henry Ford. He was a pioneer. He was the most well known industrialist of his time, if not the most successful business in the world at the time. And he really revolutionized business as we know it today. And Henry Ford, in his own element, he was a very introvert and shy person. He was just a genius when it came to engineering and to doing what he did best. But he didn't have the personality, he didn't have the education.
Mhm.
Henry Ford didn't go to high school. He didn't have the education. He didn't have the friendly, outgoing personality. He was very well reserved and introvert, and so he didn't have the charismatic personality that most people attribute to a successful person. But he was smart enough to to uh, partner with people like Thomas Edison
Mhm.
and Firestone and all these people to create his own mastermind group that propelled his business. And he also partnered with his own employees that had more education and they had a better personality to help him run the business. So, what do you think about that?
No, the Henry Ford story, I find it's such a fascinating story because he, growing up, I'm sure he didn't visualize the level of success that he ended up having. But as you're partnering with the influential people, the right influential people, um, at any stage of your life, like he did with Thomas Edison and Harvey Firestone and John Burroughs. I mean, you absorb these new ideas and you
Mm-hmm.
collaborate on all these the creative um ideas that come to mind. So despite like the lack of education, which I'm sure at the time he's you know rubbing elbows with with people that are far more educated, and like that type of self-doubt surely had to have crossed his mind, but you work through those things. And I think having again the right people around you as your support group, as your
Mm-hmm.
collaborators, as your cheerleaders, just kind of gets you into areas that you wouldn't be able to do on your own, or at least not as
Mm-hmm.
quickly, you know.
Yes.
And for
Yes.
that reason, I think, being part of a mastermind group, and like you said, it could be a very small, intimate group or a much larger group, but in any case, um, you're learning from other people and getting their perspectives that
Mm-hmm.
could be so such a game changer in what you're
It
doing.
is. It is definitely a game changer, at least for me and my experience. Like I said, the two times that I did the mastermind group, and even the two times that I read the book, Think and Grow Rich, which, for the next mastermind group we're planning to have, it will be the third time I'm going through this book. But every single time I've been part either of a mastermind group or read the book, my career has taken off or my business has come to the next level. and
Hmm.
and I and I think that's the energy, the power behind the mastermind group. It's when when you're really in the spirit of collaboration and cooperation with other people that are like-minded, that have the same energy and that have the same purpose and the same commitment.
Hmm.
Because you can have all of that, but if you don't have the commitment to grow, and you combine all that energy together, I think like our title, it's the mastermind magic.
Hmm.
It really is the power of a tribe that we experience when we do that. And I also found it interesting that sometimes we apply the mastermind principle without even realizing. And a perfect example that it's also listed in his book, in Napoleon Hill's book, is that even in politics,
Hmm.
our democratic government operates with a principle of a mastermind group. Think about this. We have Congress, we have Senate, we have Department of Justice, and then we have the president and the vice president. But Congress and Senates, they all have their own set of skills, education, experience, um, wealth, knowledge, whatever it is, that they come together into this meetings in the House, and they share what they have to share based on their experience and their knowledge and their education and what have you. And that's how the country gets things done. That's how policies are set for the rest of us to follow. But I did find it fascinating that we don't think about it this way, that even our government operates in with the principle of a mastermind group. It's a
Hmm.
much more larger scale, of course. We have so many people now in government to get things done. But the nitty gritty on how we get things done, it does follow the principle of a mastermind group. I
You
I,
know,
I thought that
one
was
of
fascinating.
it really is, because one of the parts of the mastermind group that I want to emphasize is that this is a group of people that are all rooting for each other. It really
Hmm.
it's about, setting your goals, but they're not just your goals. Now they're my goals, they're their goals too. And
Hmm.
everyone
Exactly.
to get to the same finish line and helping
Hmm.
each other get there. So that, I
Yes.
think, is the greatest part, the greatest value,
Hmm.
really, because when you're part of this group and you're regularly meeting, it's like these are incremental um, advances that you're making every single time that you
Hmm.
get together with your group. So,
Hmm.
if that alone isn't a huge benefit, I wonder how many of our listeners have never been part of a mastermind group.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
you know, um, So I don't know. That would be a great question if you want
Yes.
to answer
Yes.
it in our comments. Have you ever been part of a mastermind group? Have you considered it? Because the market researcher in me is like, would really like to know.
Yes, I think that's a very good point of engagement with our audiences. Let us know if you've been a part of a mastermind group, why or why not, and if you have been part of a mastermind group, what has been your experience? I think
Hmm.
that will be really interesting to see what other people's experience has been with mastermind group. But in your opinion, Edith, what do you think are like some of the benefits of being part of the mastermind group?
Well, and as I mentioned, the accountability, the look at your goals, and one of the huge benefits of being part of the mastermind group is, we are seriously looking at goals. And I think when we're
Mhm.
working on our own, it's easy to change your goal. I mean, I think
Mm,
I mentioned earlier that I'm part of this wellness program right now. I'm really trying hard to get healthier, lose some weight, and just be a much better version of myself. But it's also forcing me to stick to my goal and not shift it and say, okay, maybe losing 50 pounds isn't attainable for me. Let me change that to 20. Or you get to, one goal and then all of a sudden it's let you change it. But I mean, changing your mind is not a bad thing. But changing your goal just because maybe you think that you're not going to be able to achieve it, or you saw something shiny and now it's something something else.
shining
And
object
yeah, there's
syndrome.
shiny object syndrome. And now you're like, okay, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to do this. So I think that
Mhm.
part of being part of this mastermind group, it's like, it's okay to change your mind, but let's talk through this idea. Why are
Mhm.
you changing your mind? Why
Yeah,
do you feel like this is
yeah,
the direction? And so much can come out of those conversations.
yeah.
So,
I think you're right. It gives you that sense of commitment a little bit stronger than what if you were
right.
on your own. And which is kind of sad to say this, but sometimes it's easier to be uncommitted to ourselves than it is to be
Yes.
committed to other people.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Right.
like, oh, I'm gonna wake up this morning and work out. Oh, I don't know. But if you have somebody waiting for you, guess what? You're gonna get off that bed and get things done and get to the gym. And I
Yeah.
think that's the power of having that accountability, either from a person or from a group. Is it really propels you to do what needs to get done
Right.
and do it in a committable way basis. I think another big thing that as business owners, entrepreneurs benefit from being part of a mastermind group, especially small businesses, is it does gives us a very good council group, or board of
Mhm.
directors for our business.
Mm.
And I think every business should have a board of directors.
Right.
But sometimes, you know, small businesses, we don't think that way. We think that board of director only applies for Fortune 500 companies. And I think being part of a mastermind group gives you that possibility and that opportunity to have a really good board of directors that can help your business propel and get to the next level.
Hmm.
And it's something you're not going to get easily by doing it by yourself, you know, finding the people to get be part of your board of directors. But engaging with a mastermind group, it's definitely a way to get that. And I
Hmm.
think another really good thing is you create a strong support system.
Mm.
And I
Yes.
think that support systems can be so beneficial in so many ways. You know,
Hmm.
because if you have a marketing issue, now you have somebody or a group of people that can help you resolve that issue. If
Hmm.
you have a financial issue with your business, now you can come to that group and, you know, find out what other people are doing in the group that can help you. And you're going to find these people wanting to help you.
Hmm.
There's where the beauty is that's where the strength of a mastermind group is the willingness to help each other out. The
Yes. 100%. Hmm.
you know we use support groups for so many other things. I mean, let's face it, we use it to get out of addictions, or we use it to cope with some emotions, and we use it to deal with our health, and yet we sometimes don't think we need a support group for our business.
It's true.
Yeah.
And I can't help but think that there's a lot of that comes from fear. You know,
Mm-hmm.
there no one is born with everything you need to know to run a business. Not only are you
Mm-hmm.
born with it, but you could
Mm-hmm.
be in business a year or more and you're still not sure about what you're doing, if you're, making the right decisions. But it's a little intimidating to come to other people and say, this
I'm
is the problem.
struggling.
Yeah, I'm struggling. This is the problem I'm having with. Like, I don't know, you don't really want to put that out there. Instead, we want to just figure it out on our own and spend hours and hours and hours and, going through Google just to try to figure out what might work. When
Hmm.
instead you can create this support group, just like what you're talking about here, and just ask a few other people what's working for you. This is what I'm struggling with.
Hmm.
What would you recommend? And
Hmm.
at least it gives you that next step to
Hmm.
try something.
Yeah.
You feel a little more confident in that.
Yeah. Yeah. And let me interject something in that regards is that sometimes people fear sharing what's going on with them in their business. Uh, just for fear of some of competition taking over and getting that information and confidentiality being violated. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about the basic rules of engagement of a mastermind group as well, because
Mhm,
again, this should not be a big group. This is just not for you to throw all of your ideas and all of your things and as confetti to the worst of the world. This is something that is in a very enclosed, protected group
mhm,
of people. And as a matter of fact, even we have talked about this, Edith, in our mastermind group, every single member of the group needs to sign a non-disclosure confidentiality agreement. Why? Because we want to make sure that everybody feels safe and protected for sharing their ideas and their struggles.
mhm,
And so one of the things that it's very basic rule of engagement in a mastermind group is that you have to behave in a manner of cooperation,
mhm,
collaboration, and not competition.
mhm,
Because sometimes as entrepreneurs you can get into this competitive mindset. That's
mhm,
not what a mastermind group is. That's not the field you want to play your competitiveness in. It's not
mhm,
in a mastermind group. So that's very important, and it's very important that everybody in the group feels safe to share.
mhm,
And and so if you're planning to be part of a mastermind group, whether it's ours or anyone else's, just point that out to the group that there has to be a level of trust. And in this days in time, we need to sign agreements to keep people liable for violating those
mhm.
things. So
Right.
make sure that perhaps you need to sign a non-disclosure agreement when you're part of a mastermind group. And especially when you're dealing with companies that are hitting the six figures and the seven figures. You don't want the competition getting hold of your information or any size business for that matter, getting hold of information that's being shared in a mastermind group.
Mhm. You
Just
know,
wanted
and
to throw that out there.
yes, and I know I completely agree. And another basic rule of engagement that I would add is to come in with an open mind. Do
Mm-hmm.
not feel that people are around in your mastermind group are participating to critique you or to really offer any kind of negativity. It's
Mm-hmm.
so you have to go in with an open mind and put your defenses down. You know, it-
Mm-hmm.
you know what has worked for you in the past, you know what isn't working for you now. Come in with that welcoming of those new suggestions and ideas, because I think with the title itself, Mastermind, you're trying to master your mind because, as you know,
Mm-hmm.
our mind
Mm-hmm.
will mess with us.
Oh, that's a good way of putting it. I didn't even think of it that way. You're mastering your mind.
Right. And really, that when you master your mind, that's when really everything really starts to align, open up, get you where you really want to go. Because
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
otherwise, it can be chaos.
Yes, it can be chaos. Absolutely. Absolutely. So So there we have it, guys. I mean, I think that we are very pro mastermind group. And there's magic behind it. There's really magic behind being part of a mastermind group. And I want to encourage everybody that is listening to this episode. If you have not engaged in one, go ahead and engage in one. I think I would say, we always have our format of these episodes, the three main takeaways.
Mhm.
So I would say the first main takeaway is if you have not been part of a mastermind group, try to
Okay.
find one.
Yeah.
It's a powerful tool in your toolkit for growing your business.
Mhm.
Um, Edith, what would you say is the second big takeaway?
A second big takeaway just from what we've talked about here is the the proof is out there. Mastermind groups are another success tool, and
Mm-hmm.
put this in your toolkit. Put
Mm-hmm.
mastermind groups in your toolkit. You may have some for different areas of your life. If you're
Mm-hmm.
interested in one for business, we, as Inez mentioned, we are opening up the Unstuck Your Business Mastermind group here shortly for enrollment. But or find one in your local community, the online format that you like to engage with. But but I would say, add it to your business toolkit. Um,
Yes.
if you've,
Absolutely. And if there's not one nearby you, create one. Just learn
right.
about it's not that difficult. There are plenty of videos and resources to help you set up your own mastermind group and how it works. You know, what you need to do to make it effective. So if
Mhm.
you yourself cannot find a mastermind group nearby your area, just set up one yourself. And listen, mastermind groups can include family members and friends.
Sure.
Even in the book Think and Grow Rich, it says that it doesn't have to be all business people in your mastermind group. It can be friends and family members that can contribute to something that you want to achieve in your life.
Hmm.
So it doesn't have to be specifically to that. And I would say the third main takeaway is you build a strong support system for yourself and for your business. It's a
Yes.
very effective way to have that support system that is so well needed as an entrepreneur. Because I tell you what, you and I have talked about this day in, day out. Being an entrepreneur is not easy. You need to
Mhm.
grow thick skin very quickly. And without the support, many people don't make it past
Mhm.
their third, fifth year
Right.
in business. So I think it's a brilliant way of getting that support system that you need to go through the ups and downs to the mountains and valleys of your business is to
Mhm.
get involved with a mastermind group.
Mhm.
So there we have it, people. Let's you know engage in a mastermind group and enjoy the power of a tribe. And I'm gonna close this episode with one of Napoleon Hill quotes about success. He says, "Success is the knowledge in which you get anything you want from life without violating the rights of others and helping others acquire what they want." I think this is a brilliant definition of success that goes alongside with being part of a mastermind group. So there we have it, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much. Until next time. If you're hearing this message, you've listened to the entire episode, and for that, we want to thank you. Let us know what you think about today's topic by leaving us a comment and a review of our podcast.
And if you found some value on the information shared in this podcast, please subscribe and share. And you can find us on our Facebook page, Unstuck Your Business, and join the conversation and engage with other entrepreneurs as together we help each other unstuck our business. Until next time.
Until next time.